If there is one word that can drive Hillary Clinton to a red-faced rage, just spit out Benghazi. Watch the react. Latest example came today, and the questions that need to be asked will make some Republicans very uncomfortable. Maybe the second word to watch Mrs. Clinton blow a gasket would be Bernie. The rumpled candidate is laying a huge smackdown on Hillary's poll numbers and her bank account. You have seen this face. You know his name. But there's a sideshow now about the Oregon killer and whether the media should ever use the name of someone so twisted. The charge is that we helped make him famous. And a side note to the gun debate. I'm going to get personal in telling it like it is and say something a number of gun owners won't like one bit. But we need to face the facts. A new week begins. Let's go pick a few fights, shall we? I'm Ed Berliner. This is The Hardline for Monday, October 5th, 2015.
There have been 7 investigations led mostly by Republicans in the Congress, and they were nonpartisan, and they reached conclusions that, first of all, I and nobody did anything wrong, but there were changes we could make. This committee was set up, as they have admitted, for the purpose of making a partisan political issue out of the deaths of 4 Americans.
Bernie Sanders has not only caught but is surpassing her in some polls. There are those who believe she's running out of money a good year before the election. A good part of America still sees her as warm and fuzzy as the Titanic iceberg. And they believe she and the famed ocean liner are going to suffer the same fate. Top all this off with the one-time sure thing for POTUS snaps off the PC valve and goes ballistic about Benghazi again. Take a breath. Does Hillary Clinton have a point? Our first guest is a former Navy SEAL who lost a close friend in the Benghazi attack, also author of the new book, Among Heroes, a U.S. Navy SEAL's true story of friendship, heroism, and the ultimate sacrifice, Brandon Webb. We're also joined by the National Review Institute Buckley Fellow in Political Journalism, and who covered the House Intel investigation on Benghazi that cleared the Obama administration, Ian Tuttle. Gentlemen, I want to thank you both for being here this evening. And Brandon, let me go ahead and begin with you. Hillary Clinton looks right into the camera and says, this is political. She says again, we did nothing wrong. No one can find anything wrong. And basically saying, I'm sick and tired of it. You were close to the people that are there. How do you react when you see that and when you hear her say that?
My big problem with Hillary and the Department of State, where Benghazi is concerned, is there was just no accountability. When I was in the Navy and in the SEAL teams, if someone made a mistake that cost people's lives or equipment was lost, people were relieved of command. And the Department of State, nobody was fired or held accountable for their jobs. And for her to look the American people in the eye and say that she did nothing wrong just really shows me her true character. To just point at the emails that she was using emails on a personal phone.
Well, let's look at it this way. Let me look at it this way, if you can, Brandon. If you listen to what she said, it's political reasons only. The death of 4 Americans in Baghdad. She's saying it is solely political, which means she's going to tell you, she's going to tell people who know people who died in Benghazi, that this has nothing to do with whether or not we made a mistake. This has nothing to do with emails. This is all just political. The only reason you're coming after me is because I'm running for president. Come on, Brandon, that's got to get under your skin.
It does. I mean, the problem is it is politics. She knows exactly what she's doing, and if you're running for the office of the President of the United States, then everything should be fair game. And the fact is, she used her personal email for classified, that held classified information. If any one of myself or my friends had done that, holding a secret or top secret clearance in the military, we would have lost our jobs and lost our security clearances. So to me, it's, hey, you're running for the office, the highest office in this country, and you better believe that's fair game, especially where Benghazi is concerned. You know, when we covered it on the news site that we run, sofrep.com, we had a State Department source that witnessed her chief of staff coaching people before they went into the Accountability Review Board hearings. And so, the lack of accountability and transparency, and to see her just kind of shrug it off as oh, it's just political.
Well, I tell you what, Brandon,
Yeah,
you're being a whole lot. You're being a whole lot easier than I think I would be if it was my friends involved. But Ian, let me get to you on this one. And here, Hillary Clinton puts it forth again, and she's angry this time. Those of us who've seen it, if you don't see it, go back and watch the interview on the Today Show this morning. She's angry about it. She says, "We've been cleared. There've been investigations, and you even talked about it. The Benghazi report, after the 2-year investigation that was led by a Republican-led House Intelligence Committee, proved that there were no theorists involved here. The attacks issue, everything was baseless on the issue." Look, I'm not trying to side with Hillary Clinton here, but what I'm trying to point out is that she says that this is political. There's nothing here. How do we then fire back? How should the American people fire back on this one, Ian, when it comes down to her stating that you got nothing on me?
Yeah, well, let's say first that the attack that she's carrying on now and that other Democrats have voiced over the last couple of days is, of course, because the presumptive Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy, sort of stepped in it unintentionally. And I think if you read or go back to what he said, what he was trying to say is reasonably clear, but it gave Democrats a lot of ammo to say that this is simply a partisan campaign against her for electoral purposes. Now, it's true that there have been several investigations. I'm not sure that everyone simply got off scot-free the way that she sort of makes it sound, but it's true that they did determine that they weren't going to hold anyone really truly accountable. The difference is that the select committee that Trey Gowdy is leading is operating for a longer period of time. It has a single focus, and the interim report that Gowdy and the committee released in May revealed that they've accessed tens of thousands of documents, hundreds of hours of interview time, and a whole lot of source material that the other investigations had not been privy to. So Gowdy did say when this began that this was going to be a low drama committee. It's proven that way, and the question is whether answers are going to come out at the end.
Okay, let me get there if you can, Ian, because you're making some good points here, but let me make sure. I only got a couple of minutes left here. You're right. This is about Kevin McCarthy, who made the statement. Is Hillary Clinton then basically taking what she's got? She's got something here. It's a sliver of something. But she and the Democrats are going to use this. They're going to exploit this because the door's been open now. They can come back, and they have a way to once again get the people on their side. It's a monstrous disaster for the GOP. They've got to close this door one way or another before Mrs. Clinton gets points off it, yes?
Yeah, absolutely. The thing to remember, though, is this committee, the select committee, is largely responsible for uncovering the private email server and has been sort of spearheading that in relation to Benghazi. So we've already gotten some bombshell revelations out of this committee, and I would suspect that there would be more. Republicans just need to hunker down and push back against this and remind voters, remind those who might be skeptical, that there are good reasons to believe that there's more here than meets the eye so far.
Is that just it, though, and what she's trying to hide? Now, again, I know I'm asking you for commentary here and just an assumption, perhaps, because you're a reporter. You dig for these things. There's more there. She knows it. The Democrats know it. Is that what we should take from this, that they're just trying to cover this as fast as they can? Well,
I think they know that it's harmful, that she looks untrustworthy, that the events that surround the several hours when the attack in Benghazi was transpiring are basically still in sort of a cloud of unknowing. Where was the secretary? Where was the president? We still don't know these things years on. If she wants to come out and give us the answers, great. Otherwise, this is an investigation that ought to go forward, and they simply don't want it to.
Brandon, I got a couple of minutes left here, and I do need to ask you about this because you know the people that are there. You knew the people. You know the story intimately. There are so many people who keep talking about the fact we've heard about the failure to protect the personnel at the embassy, but there was more to it. Some reporters say there were agreements between the Obama and the Erdogan administrations. There's so much more going on, and that, in effect, this is the big story here that we should be paying more attention to. Doesn't that, though, rankle you a little bit? Because still, at the end of the day, that tells people, forget the fact that there's 4 dead Americans here. We always seem to be looking for something else to just, it's the shiny thing to get us away from it, isn't it?
You know, from my position, Benghazi really highlights just the overall lack of foreign policy focus and strategy. I mean, we've had this schizophrenic foreign policy in Benghazi and other places, and created way more instability in this world since the attacks on 9/11. And you know, so that's a major point. But back to Hillary and the State Department, it just comes down to accountability, a lack of transparency, and you know, to think about that just gets me pretty fired up. And it's just unacceptable that we can't even bury a dead hero in Benghazi and honor an insurance policy that the CIA mandated he pay for.
We apologize for some of the noises in the background. That's what happens sometimes in New York City. It always happens, and you just have to go ahead and live with it. Brandon Webb, Ian Tuttle, gentlemen, I want to thank you both for being here. It's a story that we have to follow, and we will, no matter where it may take us. We thank you so much. Now let me go ahead and ask you, because we hear these things. You hear what Mrs. Clinton says. You hear what the other people say. Tell us what you think. Get to us. Get to us on email, on Facebook, and on Twitter, and tell us exactly what you think about what Hillary Clinton has said. The Hard Line will continue.